The Rivian pulls up to the World War II memorial. You see 3 patches of grass, ascending steps in between, opening to what looks like a large arena. In the middle is grass. On the sides are plaques. It is a memorial to one of the great wars, one of the times that America proved itself to be the greatest in the world, or at least that's what they say. Does it make sense that this is where fascism might be hiding? I don't know. Let's find out.
Opportunity isn't really thinking too much about the current situation, about the place that we are going. I've been ruining Ronald's life. Every social media page that I have access to on his phone is now covered in memes and just absolute, just saying the most heinous things that nobody on any side of any aisle could potentially take hold of and say, hey, this is good and I like this, and we're going to keep this person in a position of power. I'm ruining this man's life. And so as we are pulling up here, I think it's almost jarring as the car stops and kind of knocks me back into focus of, oh wait, we're doing a thing. And I think quickly has to look between the others here to get a sense of what tone I should be taking in this moment.
I think Lavie is kind of coming down from the interaction of breaking their ties with one of their weapons to give it to someone else. But it's also the fact that we don't know what we're walking into. We already had kind of the conversation of how people are able to do things in different situations on the car ride over, trying to figure out what the best plan of action. There's still no true insight on what we are going to encounter. It could be a fight of fists and swords and shields. It could be a fight of words. It could be a discussion. It could be a conversation. There's really no way of knowing. So I think Lavie is just once again going through their head of what everyone said is their strong suit. Lavie has now only seen 2 people really shoulder the power of their domains that they are the demigods of. So knowing that Thane has a weird book and the weird book does things, and Thane sometimes has a backbone in deciding that, what is right and what is wrong, and interpretations of that. And then also seeing the fact that Yarrow has control over woodland creatures to be able to tie someone up and stick them in the bathroom or in a supply closet. Don't remember which one he got stuffed in, but it was one of the two. One of the two. And then has fought alongside Ruhan and won, against the previous creatures. The person who is a confirmed combatant is now armed with a weapon that they are able to use. And its Opportunity seems to be very good at whatever Opportunity is doing currently and posting memes and other things on social media, ruining this man's life. So I think it's just kind of as we go, it's just assessing what we could be up against, because there's still too many variables. And especially with Cassie, Cassie is losing connection to her godly parent. I think Lavie just kind of is watching Cassie to see how Cassie's reacting and getting out of the car and realizing where we are and that kind of thing. Because Cassie's also an unknown variable in this.
Cassie is an unknown variable. She looks solemn. She looks nervous. She is displaying what you can only imagine is the feelings of someone who has become accustomed to a certain amount of power and having lost that and struggling to remember what they can do even as a mortal. I mean, she's still not mortal. She's still a demigod, but they still have a little bit of that struggle. How about Yarrow?
There's something eerie about this whole scene for her. The way that Ronald was treating it, how it was a game, a riddle that we had to trick, and now we're at this Super Bowl stadium looking memorial, and it just doesn't feel right. Games are supposed to be for joy, for fun, to not think about all the terrible things. And yet this place is supposedly a prison for democracy. And that is disconcerting in a lot of ways. Sonny Yazzie might not see it that way, but she doesn't even know what football is. But one of us has to come in looking a little brave. And I'll take her lead on that.
Thane has been combing through his book since the minute they got in the Uber, knowing a few things about what's coming. One, that throughout all of history, while there is no perfect moral way to govern, one unilateral common denominator of evil certainly lies in the forms of fascism that have come through history. The one thing the majority of people can agree upon is that that's the bad one. And yet, going through and studying the ways it's defeated is mixed. It's been stayed by violent wars. It's been held off by practices of democracy or republicanism. It's been held off through revolutions, both violent and political. And the thing that both relieves and gives Thane pause is that the cost of enduring and defeating fascism seems to always lie in the loss of life. The one thing he's petrified of. So there is a moral obligation inside of him, knowing that the objective of his life is to stand up to and avoid the intake of evil in all its forms, with the end goal, of course, to be not afraid when death comes. And yet, in spite of this, he is afraid that death is coming. And he's also hyper aware that one of Death's employees is in the car.
Closing its eyes, Ruhan doesn't really feel anything. It's almost dead to the world. Unless being directed to, talked to, almost as if a form of meditation. What's in the car is not really Ruhan right now, but just a corpse. Waiting, biding its time until the door opens, and the next thing must be done. And you said pierce the veil, right? Judgment.
Yes.
All right. Judgment is +2, 5, and a 3. That's 10. That's a 10.
That's 10. Okay. So I'm going to take one of your questions to give you something, but what are 2 questions?
All right. What happened to Thane?
What happened to Thane? Interesting. Now, are you finding this out by asking Thane face to face, or are you finding this out by reading an aura?
I think it's almost like an impulse, an electrical impulse, suddenly animates Ruhan, and he turns to Thane suddenly staring with wide open eyes and just perceiving how Thane reacts to determine what happened to Thane. Because he remembers grasping hands. They remember what Thane recoiled really, when spotting his death. What happened to Thane?
I would imagine Ruhan is very good about understanding the rivers and courses and trails in one's life. So you'd probably get a sense that Thane has a mortal mother and a parent that is tied to one of the many pantheons of death. And you can see a mother abandoned by death, raising a child, teaching them to live the good life, to do things correctly, so that when the time came to meet their father, they would be prepared and found worthy for whatever comes next. And you see a young boy riddled with anxieties, constantly writing things down in a giant tome that used to be blank, writing new rules, expectations, gospels, and copying books, all the way up until fairly recently.
That damn book.
What are some of the signs of death that you might look for? So we know in some cultures, owls, if you see an owl, that can be a sign of death. Mushrooms are a kind of sign of death as they break down what is dead and decaying. What are some other things that you usually see as like a little bit of a sign, a reminder that death is around the corner?
Ooh, there's a couple. Birds of various kinds, vultures in certain places in the south, sparrows in places in Europe, ibises. There's a lot. Birds in general tend to freak humans out, and so they get associated with death, and eventually they pick up the mantle themselves, right? There are others, though. There's an aura around people who are about to die, and that aura is one of the ways they commune with what's to happen next. It's that moment where people suddenly become the happiest they've ever been, almost at peace before they're at peace. There's also other images. Blue skin is very common. Skulls. Other very visual implications of death. The most common, though? A sudden chill in the air.
So when you look at Thane, and you really look at Thane himself does not have an aura. It is not that he is about to die. But if you kind of look past him at what is sort of in the background of his existence, you see the birds. You see the chill. You see the sprouting mushrooms. As if they're all watching over him. And what is your other question?
Thane, when death finally comes for you, what do you want them to look like?
The question is challenging because Thane doesn't want to meet this person. However, if it were to come to that, Thane has not daydreamed a person, a form, an entity, not even a specific kind of god. Thane only hopes they meet someone fair and kind.
Ruhan's typical look shifts none. Not even a little bit. Because you didn't know this. But in a way, you've been waiting for this moment your entire life. He looks at you, and he reaches across, because we're in a limo, right? So we're opposite seats. He reaches across. He looks like he's breathing. And this is the first time you've really seen him breathe without needing to speak. And he grips your hand. It's warm.
You'll know that Thane's hand is always cold.
I think in doing that, what the kind of mechanical resolution of that is that I want Thane to roll the next roll with Fortune's favor.
Cool.
Ruhan, as you are peering beyond the veil and taking in this monument or this memorial in front of you, you see in the center almost like a circle of difference, of like it's kind of like a ripple, and you understand that to be the entrance. By being able to peer through, by being able to see these different veils of life and death, you are able to see the entrance that is not visible to anybody else.
You ready?
I'm as ready as I possibly could be.
You don't need to be afraid of me.
I am, though. I really am.
It won't hurt.
I don't think I'm worried about it hurting. I've been hurt before. I guess I just want to make sure it doesn't hurt after.
Life is awful. I mean, I don't mean it like... I do, actually. I did. Life is awful. And sometimes you see no way out. So you make a mistake. You walk into a place you know you're not supposed to walk into because you're hoping and praying that you won't come out of it. But it isn't awful. Life. Neither's death. None of it's really awful. It's just... it's all a mixed bag. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I do know. Hold up the book. I've got a whole... Yeah, I know. I keep looking for the opportunities of joy and happiness, but so much of it is rooted in someone else's sorrow, and it's so hard to juggle it. And I just don't want to be held accountable for that.
Stop looking for the big thing and start looking for the little things. You know what I miss? Ice cream.
What about it?
I miss it. I can't taste it anymore.
I mean, it's sweet and it's meant to cool you off and be something delicious, but so much of it is born from other people's labor, much of it unfairly compensated, and then there's the things you have to do to a cow to even get the dairy that creates the ice cream, and then what? Because I had a moment of wanting selfish pleasure, I have to force 10 to 15 people and animals who don't deserve the treatment they receive to do, and I just start spiraling again.
Have you ever considered that sometimes you can take a tray and you can fill it with the fruit juice and you can freeze it, use a fork to scrape it up, and then you have a granita?
That does sound nice.
You have to stop carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders because it's not depending upon you. Doing that means that you ignore the responsibility of other people. You let them off the hook and just carry their weight instead. It's overwhelming, yeah. Everything you do hurts someone else because that's the way the world is. But that's the way the world is. The people who built the world are responsible for that. What you're responsible for is trying to fix it, not get caught up in all of its weird idiosyncrasies. Stop counting points.
You know, this book's really heavy.
So drop it.
Thane cautiously pushes the window down button in the limousine, takes one look at the book, and throws it out into the street. Probably shouldn't have done that. It's a huge book on a busy Washington, D.C. road, but there's a moment, there's a lightness, and then there's a look into Ruhan's eyes, and Thane just says, I swear, though, if I get tormented for eternity because of this, I'm going to be so mad.
Well, if you want, I can keep you company.
I read somewhere that misery likes that.
Being caught in between really sucks sometimes.
No kidding.
Cassie is going to look to Yarrow.
How are you handling all this?
I feel in a lot of ways rather powerless right now. But when I look at you, I feel warmer and safer. Do you mind if I stick by you?
Yarrow has to actually hear this. Blinks. Hears those words. You are safe around her. Not gonna lie, Cassie, I feel the same way about you. And sure, yeah, we can... Do you want to hold hands? Or, like, just stick nearby? Do you need a jacket? I could get you a jacket.
She smiles and she says, I'm glad that you were one of the people who responded.
I mean, why wouldn't I? You needed help. I can help. I should be thanking you for letting me, come along.
Democracy... There's a god of democracy, but... I mean, they can only do so much to sway people one way or another. You do the work that's necessary. And I hope that maybe after this, we could join forces to help undo whatever damage has been done.
Yarrow is cradling Sanyoju. She's just got one arm on her, one arm with a raccoon. It's gonna take a lot more than a couple of pastries, but I think it's a better place to start. Communities have to sprout somewhere. I'd be honored, Cassie.
You're around the spot that Ruhan showed you is the entrance. Cassie looks at opportunity. Do you want to be in front?
I feel like that's probably the best idea. I'm the one that they know to look for. I think if you all show up walking first, that might raise some alarm.
I know that I mentioned this before. I'm Canadian. So this is not really my party. And I respect that. Just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it, you know?
Oh, don't worry. Americans can't tell the difference between a Canadian and an American, even if you told them.
Exactly, and I'm about as American as you can get. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here.
It's honestly a threat to all of us. Anything that poisons the well here can poison the well anywhere.
Cassie says, I don't think this entrance is because the god of democracy is special to the United States. Canada has just as much of a claim on democracy. I think this is where we are right now is more about fascism.
I was more referring to, destroying your national monuments and the like.
Oh, don't worry. It's not that big of a deal. We can rebuild them. They're just buildings. Or
Exactly.
One question, while we're all here staring at each other, looking at an entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Why here?
Looks kind of cool, I guess. People like making a big show of things, There's all the fountains and stuff. Why not here? Is there a way, now that I'm still kind of tapped into our good friend Ronald, is there a way that I can pierce the veil to try to get a sense of his memories to see maybe why here?
Yes, please pierce the veil.
Good thing I have -1 to this roll. That's a 7.
Okay, awesome. Ask 2 questions.
What is the greatest danger with this place? As we're pulled up here and I'm kind of getting a sense of it, and I'm thinking, now that I'm taking a moment to really sit in Ronald's shoes, I'm putting myself in the place of a fascist. If I had to set up a trap, if I had to set up a big bad place to make it the most effective, and I had to do it quick in a way that no one noticed, where would I put traps? Where would I put guards? Where would I, how would I keep this place defended? Because the World War II Memorial is kind of an open place.
It is. So I'm going to answer 2 questions through that. Okay. I'm going to answer your first question of kind of why here? Mm-hmm. And what makes this place dangerous in general? Mm-hmm. And then your more very tactical question. So you look around at the World War II Memorial, and it is a memorial for those who died during World War II. But at the same time, you remember through all your experiences in history classes and the like, World War II was a time of great American nationalism. A feeling of America is better, is the best, is the top, is the protector. And that kind of thinking, that kind of exceptionalist thinking is dangerous when you think about someone's ability to understand other people. If we spend too much time thinking too highly of ourselves, we lose the ability to empathize with other people if we consider ourselves loftier than, higher than. And there is a way you can see how fascism, the ability for fascism to creep into the North American consciousness, may have happened in that exceptionalism mindset that occurred after World War II. So that is why this place is dangerous to the idea of the US as a whole being able to work well with the world and to even care for its own people. What is dangerous, as in what is going to hit you, it is not a very defensible place. So whatever is going to happen once you enter into that next realm. It is not on the mortal realm that fascism is right now able to put all of its traps, although it's working on that. You're going to have to go inside.
So then I think taking that information, Opportunity kind of turns to everyone and says, yeah, okay, so this place itself, not too bad. I don't see anybody. They're probably all waiting on the other side, whatever the other side is. Oh, yes! Why this place? I think they just like war. I think like they're just like, you know, big rah America buffs, and like, I mean, look at our history, right?
No, yeah, that's fair. And it kind of, this is going to sound fucked up, but it kind of looks like a football stadium, you know? It isn't like football, like the American war sport, you know, there's charges and CTE and shit.
Yeah. I think they're just like nerds. In like the worst way.
Yeah, you know, I agree with that.
Okay.
You know, like, you ever been to like, you know, you ever go to like dinner with someone and they're just like know a little too much about like, you know, certain kind of weapons used in like a particular war, and they just go on and on about all the technical aspects of it, and they're just like really into that part and kind of forget about what the rest of the war was? Like that.
Yeah, I think Ronnie is probably into that. You should really get out of his skin. You are, ugh.
Huh?
Somebody
Oh,
too much
fuck.
like
I
that.
forgot I still look like this guy. I probably should still look like this guy, because remember, they are expecting. It's, you know, it's not the worst skin I've been in, but it's not the best. It's a little oily. He really needs to learn to moisturize. I guess I can just make my, and I just make my pores a little smaller.
Are we all ready? I mean, that seems weird to say, considering I don't know if we could ever be ready, but like, are we? We don't know what we're walking into.
I guess I also don't know what we're doing.
That's a good question.
Are we planning on fighting them? Are we planning on just finding democracy and bouncing? Are we some other third thing?
I personally am not the best fighter, so if there's a way to get around that, I am in. But
I agree with that.
Are you good at finding things?
Yeah. Some have said too
Focus
good.
on that. And Lavie's just gonna get very close to Thane. It's kind of that, like, there's an unspoken personal bubble between most people. Lavie is very aware of that bubble and is like right on the edge of it, to where like the toe box of their boot is bumping into that invisible like barrier, and their face is literally nose to nose with it. If you're good at finding things, then focus on finding democracy and trying to release it. You don't have to fight. You don't have to get physical in something to take a risk. You can just follow what seems like the excitement that also makes sense to you. Not a book, just you. And then Lavie is going to pierce that bubble and poke Thane in, like, right where the heart is. And whenever you're touched by Lavie, you can kind of hear in your ears that feeling of like your heartbeat whenever like you're just really excited for something, like in your ears, but it's so far away. It's almost like a car passing by that has its bass boosted too much, but it's of a heartbeat. And it just gets a little bit quicker, and then it slows down again and fades away as Lavie pulls that thing out. And I'm going to tighten my thread with Thane.
I think we need to come up with a game plan. Because if we need to fight,
Easy.
then Lavie and I can handle that for the most... Actually, I have an idea. Right. Price of freedom. Right. And he pulls out the spear that he's been keeping on his back, shakes it, and it turns into a small, almost like prying knife. And he walks over to a plaque called the Price of Freedom and pries off a silver, gold-plated star and tucks it into his pocket. Okay, we got that. Finding. You need to find democracy and distraction. Yarrow?
Yeah.
Opportunity.
Yes.
You two can keep whatever's in there distracted until we find democracy, and if it breaks out into a fight, then Lavie and I will go for it. Saying that means that you and Cassie need to find them.
Right. Okay, that I know how to do. I have been looking for that, or something akin to it, for years. So, Cassie will come with me, and I'll read the stars and see what I can find.
I hope this goes without saying, but let's not die. Again, that is.
Yeah.
I would hate to have to pick you up today.
That's fine. It was a near miss last time. Maybe it'll actually get me this time.
Hey, manifestation, positive thoughts. We're gonna get out of this, and I'll get us all dinner. Shawarma wraps, maybe.
Oh, yes, please. Can I just say, you all are, really cool.
Thank you.
In a way that, I wasn't super expecting from you, you know?
I mean, you're the one who decided to ruin Ronald Rutherford's entire life.
Oh, that's...
All in the seat of a car. That was just impressive.
That's every day for me, gang. That's not new, but I'm glad that you all think that's cool. Yeah, no, this is, maybe the most fun I've had in, a bit, I think.
How's it going, Flag Huggers? It's me, your producer, Grant, and I am here to talk to you about the stuff that I talked to you about. You know, cool shit worth checking out, things that I listen to and thus you should listen to, because that's how this works. It's a transactional relationship, you and I. Starting with our friends over, once again, at Unbalanced Encounters.
Fantasy Western! That's what we're doing for the new arc of Unbalanced Encounters, the only show that dares to ask, what if Dimension 20 was yeehaw as hell? If you're new to the show, all you need to know is that every episode will have you sobbing from laughter, the drama, or when I come to your house and break your knee. Go check out The Misfortune of Four. We got disaster, cowgirl heiresses, trickle-down generational trauma, nepo baby witches, and plenty of moose. Episodes run about 90 minutes and are highly polished by a team of mages working around the clock in our secret studio deep beneath the Appalachian Mountains. And if they complain, we simply break their knee. So head on over to unbalancedencounters.com or find Unbalanced Encounters wherever pods are casted.
Love them crazy cowboys over at Unbalanced Encounters. They have graciously been able to be swapping ads with us this entire run for American Demigods, and we are super grateful to them. You should go check out their new show. It hasn't been going on for very long. It's a very fun, yeehaw, emotional arc they've been on, and I cannot recommend them any higher than I already have. Next, our friends over at The Heart is a Dungeon.
The Heart is a Dungeon is a multi-award-winning TTRPG podcast for heroes and poets. Did you ever carry books in your back pocket? Or write love letters to the moon? If so, you may find something special in these emotional stories. Every show is at least half BIPOC, at least half femme presenting, and as queer as a bucket of butterflies. The Heart is a Dungeon. for when your soul craves a little strange. Find us anywhere you get your podcasts.
If you've been following me on socials for a while, it's no secret that The Heart is a Dungeon is one of, if not my favorite podcast. A truly wonderful program, emotional storytelling, wickedly good sound design. They also just started a recent new season that's Apocalypse World on a fantasy tour band bus. It's really, really fucking good and has been one of my favorite things to listen to during the stormy mornings we've had here in Vegas the last few weeks, so I cannot recommend our besties over at The Heart is a Dungeon enough. And hey, I know this mini-series is ending, but if you have the spoons for it and you're up for something a little wintry and spooky, maybe you should head on over to the Game Master Monday Twitch account, give us a follow so you can get ready for In the Bleak Midwinter, Tales from Ghast. We have partnered with Hatched Games to present to you 4 spooky, wintry, chilling tales for your ramp up to the long, bleak midwinter. We're going to be running 4 Tales from Ghast, an upcoming solo RPG horror zine from the fine people at Hatched Games. You're going to be hearing tales from Supriya, who's been GMing American Demigods, Shagik, the GM over at Rolling by Myself, me, and Forever GM Justin from Roll D5. Each of us has recorded a solo game running through each of these fantastic entries from the upcoming book of Ghast. We cannot wait to see you there. These will be starting on Wednesdays, live only on our Twitch account starting December 3rd at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And yes, we will be uploading those next day on YouTube as per usual. Come join us, why don't you? Warm your feet by the fire, prepare your teeth for a meal, stare into the sky, enjoy these berries we found, and we will see you Wednesdays for Tales from Ghast. Yeah, I did have a jazz version of In the Bleak Midwinter lying around. What of it? On a personal note, thank you for staying with us for all 4 episodes of American Demigods. I know our upload schedule was a little sporadic this month, but we'll be back to our regular release schedule and programming once December hits. We'll see you next week for the one-shots, but for now, please enjoy the rest of the finale of American Demigods.
You step into the middle, and your vision starts flickering. You see 2 different things. You still see, in one flicker, the World War II memorial. In another flicker, you see a white picket fence and a yard. And 3 men standing in the yard. And they managed to look like cookie cutter versions of each other with slightly different skin and hair tones. You got the really pale, freckly, red-haired. You have the slightly tanner with a nice blonde, looks like he's been on the beach. And then you have a slightly darker, mixed something, whether it's, Middle Eastern, whether it's Italian, whether it's, he has black ancestry. You're not completely sure, but like that tanner color and that blacker hair. There's 3 of them standing there, arms crossed, and they look at you. Ronald!
Hey, how's it going? I think in this way of like opportunity catching themselves of like, that's not how Ronald. interacts with people, and kind of does this like half take back of it of like, sorry, I got a little excited.
All three of them tilt their heads. What you can tell is they can't see any of the others yet because they haven't stepped into the circle. They can only see you in this liminal space.
Yes. Sorry. My apologies. I did get a little overly excited. I'm sure you were told about the converts.
You've managed to convert them all.
Of course. And then I kind of turn back to everyone and I kind of motion them to enter the circle with me.
Does everyone enter?
Yarrow absolutely is. She's got an idea.
Okay, so the 4 of you enter. Cassie is a little bit back. And you all enter into the space, and again, you see the kind of flickering between these two worlds. And as you step forward outside of that circle, this picket fence, this white picket fence, this short lawn, this white A-frame house materializes in front of you. There's fog on various sides. You can't see too far out. And you see these 3 gentlemen. You are the converts.
Yeah? Volunteers? That was the phrase, right?
I'm surprised Ronald, of all people, was able to convince you all to join the side of fascism.
Look, once they understood the weight of the history of art and what was taken from us in this liberalization of our nation.
Mm-hmm. His Hinge profile said that. I couldn't help myself.
Even his own goons don't like him. What the hell?
Allow me to introduce you to the Trump administration.
Ay, caramba.
Look, once they understood the power, once they understood the weight, once they understood what was taken from us, they knew that there was no other choice if we wanted to reclaim what we once were, our greatness, our power, our control. You may not believe in art, but art believes in you.
I'm gonna quickly roll short skirt, long jacket.
Okay.
Oh, well that's doubles, so I'm gonna mark thread.
Yes, mark a thread.
I'm just like a very generic looking white man. Just a bland.
Amazing.
No, it's even more bland if that's physically possible. It's sad. Brunette, a tone that can best be described as maybe tanned. Who knows? Possibly Sicilian, you know? Like, just really, really bland. Like a very Anglo-Saxon kind of face. And the outfit he's wearing is just an America t-shirt and jeans. And I'm gonna, at a ball cap, and I'm gonna kind of sneak into the background of this.
They say, very good, very good. I don't know if he wants to meet you all at once. He is busy. One of them points towards the house.
I believe our friend Yarrow here would make a great first impression to really get a good sense of exactly what these individuals have to offer.
Oh, yeah, of course. I love beige kitchens and sour bread. That's really, we start talking about homesteading. That's how, I realized that, my place within a traditional home could be. I feel like these guys are at least familiar with some aspects of the Bible, allegedly, supposedly. What if I released a swarm of frogs on them?
You're not doing this anymore. You're just doing a swarm of frogs on him.
Oh yeah, I specifically want to use my ascendance move.
I need you to know that their names are Chris Chemsworth, Martin Buchanan, and Craig Manwhite. I just need you to know.
Martin Buchanan is here?
Martin Buchanan is here.
Not Craig Manwhite.
My ascendance move is Stampede. The living world needs you now more than ever, and you can see exactly what needs to be done. Call forth the vines and brambles, summon the hordes of animals, and reap sweet justice on those who wreak havoc on the earth. And how this manifests, I think, is Yarrow's doing this distraction. I think she'll see that, the look of, why are we doing this on Cassie's face? That discomfort, that crawling, greasy thing, that when you have to make company with fascists. And something in Yarrow says, fuck it. We don't have to play nice. This is not their table to wreck. I'm smashing the table. And she is going to, I think, mid-handshake with Buchanan. She's going to take that hand, backhand him. And that smack is going to be punctuated with the sound of 1,000 spadefoot toads as they crawl out of the earth. And just like the biblical plagues, they begin to swarm them.
Thane knows that this is all in the name of distraction. So while these gods are ramping up to either mess with or directly battle this particular entity, he is sneaking away. And I'm actually going to use a move for this. Thane is going to use Eclipse. Fade from view until your next move. Thane has taught himself not to get in people's way, not to interject or be a burden in people's lives. So there are times where he can literally turn invisible, which he's going to do alongside Cassie and start investigating in this home where they keep the democracy at.
Okay, so you and Cassie are basically going to go around to the front door to go in. There is... Very good. The toads overwhelm Chris, Martin, and Craig.
I'm just going to show them what will be.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll 2d6 plus judgment. Ooh, that's only a 6, but plus a 2, that's an 8.
I will lend a hand. I'll provide aid to you.
Roll 2d6 plus tangled.
Yeah, I got a 4 and a 3, which is a 7, plus 2 is 9. So that's a 9 on provide aid. On 7 to 9, choose 1. They get +1 to their roll, split the harm with them, so you get +1 to your roll.
Okay.
That makes it a 9. Stun a small group as their lives flash before their eyes. That's what will be is. On a 7 to 9, the group is stunned until interfered with or a minute passes. So I think, for a split second, Ruhan ascends into the air. This, average-looking white man, little potbelly, goes to the gym but doesn't, make an effort when going to the gym, but hits on, a lot of women. Just, a lot of women. Maybe has a ketchup stain somewhere on the shirt. I'm describing this more than I need to, really. He is, in every way, just one of them. But things change. The world grows cold, and they feel cold, and they see their own deaths played over and over. These frogs killing them over and over, replaying like a bad audio tape on loop. And all they can hear is the cacophonous noise of frogs, of toads, screaming in their ears as something sinister laughs.
Okay, very good. They are all demigods themselves, so this won't be for a full minute. But it will take effect. Can I add to it? I think your form, because you had that bland form, I think your form ages in front of them so that, like, they can, like, see themselves aging in you as these frogs climb up, and they are completely just overwhelmed.
I have Unstoppable. Once you start moving the mortal barriers, a few mortal barriers will stop your momentum. Usually you won't need to roll for this unless the Herald deems it so, and the barrier is exceptionally reinforced. In that case, roll 2d6 plus prowess. Gifted. If you have divine might, you can charge through most supernatural barriers, which I do have. Because I think the distraction of putting one motherfucker through a wall kind of gather more attention than two people sleuthing in behind. Alongside the frogs, alongside, like, whoever got grabbed, also witnessed basically death itself, heralding in their cyclical death by frogs for all of eternity. And knowing that these people were brought in by whatever Richard's name actually is.
Okay, so you will do 1 damage to Chris Chemsworth. Each of you take a thread for being epic. Lavie, the frogs go in. They see death. They see what it's going to look like. They're not going to live forever if they were mortal. I mean, they're demigods. You don't quite know. But Chris goes flying through the door and, lands a couple feet in the door. And just after that, Thane and Cassie darken the doorway. And you step in to a room. It is wood paneling all over. It is a 1980s den sitting area. Wood paneling. The couches have those vinyl covers over them, the plastic covers. There's a record player and a weird old looking TV. There's a ballot box in one corner. There is like an old stereo with like the giant speakers, ugly ass rug under the floor paneling. The lights have these green glass lampshades over them, and in the middle you see a man standing in front of a woman. She is sitting in a chair. It's a lawn chair. Tied up in the lawn chair. Eyes kind of held open, very Clockwork Orange style. Looking at a TV. As the man says to her, "But this is what the American dream is really about. In order for you to make you happen, we have to stop the illegals from coming in. We have to stop the deviant sexuality. We have to have control. The trains must run on time. Do you understand?" And she's sitting there, her eyes are pried open, and she's staring at propaganda. They're on the old ass TV. There's just propaganda flickering and flickering as the god of fascism tries to brainwash the god of the American dream.
Hey, Cassie.
Yeah?
You said democracy's missing, right? But they also have the god of the American dream, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean... It doesn't make sense for fascism to stop at one.
Agreed. But why aren't they the same?
I mean, they're two different things.
Let me put it a different way. What was a democracy doing before they went missing? Like, most recently.
Reminding people of the importance to vote? Reminding people of the importance of civil responsibility?
The action of it, though. Not any particular result. I would like to pierce the veil, and Thane has a skill attached to that. It will mean I have to stop being invisible for a second, but I think we're past the point of needing it. I'd like to read the stars.
Okay.
Which gives me a +1 on all pierce the veil rolls.
Sure.
Oh, and I have Fate's Favor from my cool chat with Ruhan, which gives me an 11.
Okay, awesome. Ask me 3 questions.
According to Cassie, what would democracy appear as? What does democracy look like?
The thing is that Cassie doesn't know what democracy is going to appear like right now. I will tell you that democracy has been described in the description of this room. Democracy appears as different things to different people, but there is something in specific democracy needs in order to work.
What's in the ballot box?
Oh, you have to cross through the whole entire room and catch fascism's notice before you can make it to the ballot box.
Sick.
Ruhan in white man form. I'm going to fix that in about 10 seconds. Looks through and sees Thane looking around. And then she's going to land onto the ground, forming into a very different form. Picks out from her pocket a gold star. Well, a gold-plated silver star. And tosses it in like a grenade.
Mm-hmm.
And out loud she says, "You want to know what those represent? You really want to be a Nazi? Die like them." And I'm going to use my ascendance move. I have become death, immortal chooser of the slain. For this moment, I'm impervious to harm. I wade through mayhem and raise fallen allies to live again. This party isn't over until I say it's over. Well, guess what? I've invited what that star represents, 100 U.S. veterans who fought against the Nazis and the Japanese in World War II. And I've raised them from the dead to fight one more Nazi.
Chris Chelmsworth stands up and is immediately bowled over by 10 zombies in American army outfits as 90 more come up upon the house, just come out of the fog. You draw them out of the fog and they're coming up on the house.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll provide enough of a distraction so Thane doesn't get god smushed.
Fascism looks up from where he's been trying to indoctrinate the American dream into his way of seeing things to poison the American dream so that she can go out and remind people that the only way that they can achieve the American dream is by stomping on people that they consider lesser than, rather than to just work themselves up. And he looks up from that. He flicks a hand, and the lawn chair holding the American Dream goes flying into a closet and shuts as he turns to this advancing horde and smiles. Because he knows the truth that even some of them now have lost their way. And when they once said that they would fight fascism to the death, some of them now live it. He is ready to fight them. He pulls out his own sword and shield. And Thane, you have a chance to get around.
Thane is going to let go of the things that always hold Thane back from making a massive move, or quite frankly, from asking for help. Thane remembers a piece of advice where it's in the little things. So it's not actually getting across this room and grabbing the box and getting overwhelmed by the big picture of it. It is about simply uttering the phrase, you know, whoever has control of that ballot box would have a massive opportunity to mold this world however they like.
It's as if their ears are burning, watching these men being eaten by frogs. Everything is like there's so much going on, but through the chaos and noise of it all, opportunity hears their name, and a door opens, and they turn to look in the direction of the 90 other World War II dead veterans trying to crawl through the windows and doors of this house, and they see through it almost like a telescopic lens. And I see through all of them. I see Thane there kind of like looking, and then still zooming eyes past that, as I think almost my eyes, because I am a shape changer, does change almost cartoonishly into like cartoonishly into a telescope as I see past all of these, and I see this ballot box that's chained to the wall, and I go, ooh, I can get a key for that. And then I just start running.
And so as you're running, #blessed means that you are running. The frogs all happen to jump out of the way. They are parted like the Red Sea for your move in. As you wade through the oncoming dead, it's like you're dancing. It's like you're doing a great dance at the club as you move your body. Maybe something goes swinging and it just misses you. You step to the side and someone goes falling, but it doesn't touch you. None of it touches you. You are going towards, and this is huge because remember when you looked at democracy, the picture of democracy, and all you saw was like a stick figure drawing?
Yes.
But this is what I think democracy really looks like to you. It's not a person. It is the opportunity to vote and to make your choice and to have your voice heard. And you come up to that ballot box. Do you say anything?
I'm imagining the running through all of this and then like seeing it across the room, and potentially fascism is what like sees me kind of going for it, and I just jump and like power slide across the ground like I'm hitting home base and just yelling, "Mine!"
I want to use trusted advisor to help opportunity. Maybe have some clarity of mind in this moment.
Yeah!
Just to give them a little bit more wherewithal. So basically what happens here for you, my friend, is with my trusted advisor ability, you get a +1 if I'm able to provide aid, so you'll get like an extra +1 to whatever you get asked to roll here.
Heard, chef.
So I guess as you're like weaving through everything in your slow motion diving for the ballot box, you hear, like, maybe in slow motion, the voice of Thane just piercing through all of the like World War II gunshots and frogs and screaming, and you just hear, democracy is the box. Democracy can be corrupted by anything because it's the box. Bam. 8.
And I think your tangle is
Plus
a +1, so that is a 9.
That makes
so
it a 10 with my trusted advisor.
They get a +2 to their roll, or a +1 and gain a thread. I'm guessing you want the +2 to the roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
I'm gonna have you have you mean this gate key opportunity, but I'm also gonna have you perform under pressure.
Yeah, I could do larceny with that.
So you have you roll +3.
Yeah, because I guess I'm just trying to, I'm trying to generally get away with something that I don't want to get caught doing. So, oh, take +1. Okay, cool. Ooh, that's a 13 in total. As I, like, again, sliding across the ground like a like a runner trying to get to home plate, and like from the sleeve of Ronald, pulling out the key that's made exactly for the shackle. I slide, and because I'm #blessed, the key goes directly into it, and I'm able to turn it to like unlock it right as I just boom slam right into the wall. From, the momentum of sliding and all.
I just turn and look at Cassie and go, sometimes you just have to break the rules to beat the person who's breaking the rules.
Cassie smiles. She looks down, and in her hand, a little flame gathers. And it's actually burning. An opportunity. Who is, when people, when it gets time to vote in a presidential election, all of the celebrities film like little videos of themselves saying, "Get out and vote."
Yeah.
Who is the celebrity saying that would get you to get out and vote?
I mean, it could genuinely be anybody, is kind of the thing with opportunity. Anybody who can convince them is kind of the problem here. It could be like my favorite librarian, like maybe it's that what's his name, Michael, the new guy who does Reading Rainbow. I think he's got an energy that opportunity really likes.
You undo the shackles and they fall away, and Michael, the librarian, stands up where he's been sitting crouched down as this ballot box, and he looks at you and he says, "You've done a great service, opportunity." And then he pushes back against fascism. It is an entire wave of energy that pushes everything back. You're all now standing in a polling place. The frogs are gone. The dead warriors are gone. The 3 demigods, you never found out what they're the demigods of, but they were easily corrupted by fascism. So we don't really care about them. They're gone. Fascism is also gone. Fascism is nowhere to be seen. There is a closet over in the corner, and democracy walks open to it, unlocks the door, pulls it open. The American Dream is sitting in a rolly chair, still tied up. Her black braids, a little bit of a mess, but she smiles to see Democracy. The two of them work hand in hand, and Democracy pulls off the tape that's holding her down. It's God tier tape. Both of them stand in front of the six of you. Cassie runs and throws her hands around Michael the librarian. You don't know who she sees as she hugs Democracy. Democracy looks at you and says,
"Thank you. Thank you, each one of you. Fascism has kept me locked up for as long as he has, because it's easier to take over without democracy."
And they sigh and they look at the American Dream and they look back at you. Even my power is not enough to stop the rise of fascism. It is going to take more than just this. And I hope that I can count on each one of you to do your part to keep him at bay.
Thane kind of steps forward, not his MO, not his bag, not the thing he's accustomed to doing, but he says, "With all due respect, I have spent a lot of time being afraid of an existential threat, studying everything that I could to make sure the right thing was happening. And the only thing I've learned is that the only thing that stops bad things from happening is good people doing good things. The caveat to that is, everyone has access to you, your democracy ship. This was not a hostile takeover. I have documented evidence of the roots of evil growing in the gardens of good. This wasn't a god overtaking you. This was a people lied to and tricked and using you to advance its agenda. And it's gonna keep trying to do that. It keeps popping up every couple of decades because it knows how to use you. So it isn't just that we have to do our best, it's that we need to ironclad the defenses and the response when it does come. We literally only won today because we had a lucky opportunity to do so and we found the right answer. We can't keep relying on luck to win.
You are completely correct, Thane. And you have to understand that I am a god that is born from people's beliefs, disbeliefs, and questions about democracy. I am available to all. That is part of my purpose. As I said, fascism has an easier way if I'm not there, but it is still absolutely possible for fascism to take over, even when democracy is in place. I stand in many ways neutral. I simply exist to attempt to give the people power People meaning all people. But there are people who will take power and they will attempt to diminish other people's power. Now that is something that I can fight against. But I can only do so much as a god. It's up to you. It's up to you, with your feet still in the mortal world, to help spread a democracy that is good for all people. So we're definitely not the end-all and be-all. But you've taken one step.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, hey, you got me to get my first library card, so I could, do my part to stop fascism too, I guess. This was kind of fun. Like, this was, honestly, I'm usually out doing stuff mostly by myself, but like working with all of you to, do something that seems good. I'm pretty sure this is good. I think this is the good thing that was supposed to happen. And I'm down to keep doing this, if you all want to do this together.
I mean, we gotta start somewhere, right? And Yarrow is actually going to look at Cassie and just put a hand on her arm and say, if you want help getting out there to the community, whether that's, a food bank or a table, my raccoon and I could certainly help you. If you want to, that is.
Cassie smiles. She's got a big, crinkly, dimple smile right now. And she takes your hand. She says, I'd really like that.
Good, we got tables to build, communities to bring together.
Looking down, hand resting upon her chin, dressed in a long cloak, the very image of Canada bereft. Ruhan doesn't speak, but eventually rests her eyes upon democracy. The image of the many who've already died to uphold a sense of ideals that continue to be under threat. You've asked a lot of us. You're a god. What will you do?
Democracy smiles. Yes, we are gods. But we are made from the power of the questions and beliefs of people. I will do my best to continue instilling in a spiritual way in people the importance of democracy, but mortals can't rely on gods to fix everything for them. As much as you would love, as much as we would all love, that I could just snap my fingers and spirit away fascism to another dimension altogether, I do not have that power.
Do you realize that fascism is in you too, right?
Yes.
All I do is ferry the dead to where they go next. I deal with the dead, with people whose decisions have already been done. I can't help you.
Ruhan, you still have a foot in the mortal world. While you remain neither dead nor alive, you still have that spark of humanity in you. Do what you can, even if it means between helping people
to the other side. Just helping your neighbor realize the good that they can do. Even that's a step in the right direction.
I'm sure you wish I could snap my finger and make it be so, huh?
I would love that. But as you said, even fascism, there's a little bit of fascism in me. It couldn't be me to snap my fingers. Unfortunately, there is no God of good and right and the correct way.
Yeah, there is. There's Thane. And Lavie's just gonna basically shoulder bump Thane.
No.
I mean, come on. That's like your whole thing. You're good at finding things. Why don't you just find the part of fascism that's in democracy and take it?
Take it?
Like, get rid of it.
You know, reach in, crush the heart of fascism, that kind of thing. There's probably like a puzzle or crossword you could do for it.
Even if that's not possible, you could just like hang out with democracy. I'm sure you could use a assistant, right? Someone who's just kind of there to check and balance you, make sure you're not, I don't know.
You don't
You like an
understand.
auditor?
Fascism is not a god. I mean, yes, we saw a god, but that's not where fascism came from. People believe in power. They believe in right. They believe in might. That belief created it. That thing we fought. So long as they have that belief that some are superior and some are not, some are determined and some are not, we'll keep being here. No matter how they vote. Hell, sometimes they vote for it. Sometimes that's what they believe the dream is. Sometimes that's what they outreach for. Sometimes that's what they die for.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. This was not the cure-all. Freeing me from fascism locking me up is not the cure-all. And I'm so sorry.
There probably isn't a right answer here.
Lavie just shrugs and says, I just came to help Cassie find her mom. That's solved, so I'm just gonna, like, be around, but...
And the part of you that allowed all of that was your humanity. So as long as you're there on the mortal plane, do your best and know that when you come home to us, we will be so happy to welcome you.
Hey gang, you know what? Maybe this is a long-term conversation. Maybe this is a long-term relationship that is building between all of us that does not get tied neatly in this moment. And obviously individuals can go, I don't want to be a part of that conversation. totally fair and fine. Opportunity may or may not lean one direction or another.
Cassie looks at her mother, father, parent, and again hugs them and thanks them. Cassie leads you all out of the polling place. You step out, and the sun is bright. You're very close to the Congress building. And Cassie says, "Well, I think this is a continuing conversation. Does anyone want pancakes?"
Only if there's ice cream.
Oh God,
There's
ice
gotta be
cream.
Ice cream. Ice cream, pancakes, a little bit of fruit, some fruity sauces. That sounds like comfort to me. Slowly turning to Yarrow.
Just looking at the raccoon in her arms.
I wonder if you imbue some of your comfort into ice cream. Maybe somebody can taste it again. Staring directly at Ruhan.
Who's back to his normal self?
That sounds really wonderful. I'll take you to my favorite spot.
No. Look, tell you what, you drive. Make a quick trip to the store. I'll have everything whipped up. Really, it's my pleasure. Gotta be a villager if you want a village, right?
Yes.
The four of us looking at each other, trying to figure out who's the history demigod.
Lavie, speak up.
Yeah, Lavie, you like war, right?
No.